Will Choate. I am the pastor of Arjuna United Methodist Church. I'm also a board member of NGYP here at the Chamber. We're hosting this event here today because to help the citizens of North Little Rock be most informed about who will be their next leader, about who will be their next mayor. We think this is of particular importance this year because it will be the first time in 24 years that we've had new leadership in that role. To put that in a little bit of perspective, I was 7 years old the last time we had another mayor. And we honestly want to thank you for being here, showing your support, your commitment to North Little Rock's future. A couple of notes: we would remind you to silence your cell phones if you would. I also want to remind you this is going to be televised by NLR TV. It's going to start airing Monday night at 6 p.m. and they'll air it until the election. The ground rules for today. To begin, each candidate will have 4 minutes to introduce themselves and their platform. Following that, each candidate on a rotating basis will have 2 minutes to respond to questions that have been previously submitted by our membership and have been collected here this morning. In conclusion, each candidate will have 3 minutes for a closing statement. This is not a debate. If a candidate would like a rebuttal, they are to use their time in their closing statement to do that. 15 seconds before their time is up, they will be notified. There will be someone in the front that's going to say, hey, wind it up. When time expires, there will be a bell that will ring, and so we'll all know that time is up. And the candidates are aware of this, and they are willing and ready to play by those ground rules as well. Without further ado, let's get started. We have drawn for names Mr. Joe Smith, who is first, and he is going to have our opening statement.
Well, Will, I was 37 when Mayor Hayes took office. So a lot of you probably remember when I did my announcement speech, I forgot to put my glasses on and my notes got blurry and I thought I was having a stroke. So I wanted to remember that. You know, I went to work for the city in 1989 and have been part of the progress for the last 20 years. I'm certainly really proud of the job that we've done. You know, we've made North Little Rock a better place to live in the past 20 years. 24 years ago, the economy was going great. The federal government was throwing money at us like it was water, and we were able to do a tremendous amount with what we were given. Our economy is not quite what it used to be now, and it's time that we're going to have to tighten our belt, and we're going to have to get back to the basics. Well, my basics are probably what we would consider my platform, and that is economic development and job creation is number one, and public safety is 1A, and then finally it would be our streets and drainage improvements in our city. You know, I'm going to create a repair report hotline so that we can easily call in potholes and damaged streets, and I'm going to do a citywide street assessment so that we'll be able to figure out where we need to spend our money. We're going to create a road program, we're going to fund it, we're going to complete it every year. You know, I want to talk quickly about the chamber and the partnership with the city and the next generation. You know, you young people, we had something like this years ago. It used to be called the JCs, and it was the Junior Chamber of Commerce. And I was president of the North Little Rock JCs many years ago, and I see a lot of those old JCs that are in the room now, that are business leaders now, and that have helped contribute to the success of our city. But our partnership, I remember one day Terry Hartwick and Todd Larson, who's the Economic Development Director, and myself walked out of a meeting with a prospective company, and I looked at Terry and I said, this is the way that it's supposed to be, with all of us at the table. The city working with the chamber. We've done that, we've done it successfully. You know, of the 25 chairmen since 1989 that have been around here, 90% of them have endorsed me. And the reason they've endorsed me is because they've worked with the city, they've worked with me over the last 24 years, and they know that I have what it takes to lead this city to where we want it to go. You know, there's no substitution for experience, and I'm the only candidate that has any management and municipal experience. And remember also that we own our own utility. We own North Little Rock Electric Company. It's a $110 million company. And the mayor is the CEO of this company. So it's very important that our leader and our mayor know what's going on and how to manage this large company. You know, we built a great foundation over the last 20 years, and I'm excited about having the opportunity to continue to build on this foundation. I will give you leadership that you can trust to get up every day and make something happen and make North Little Rock one of the greatest and most respected cities in the South. I appreciate your vote, I appreciate your support, and thanks again to the next generation for all your hard work on putting this together.
We have the Representative Tracy Steele.
Thank you, Will. Let me thank also the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event, Next Generation. It's good to see so many young people coming to being a part of this very important and critical process. So today I want to share with you why I feel I am the best candidate to lead this city. First of all, I have a deep and abiding love for the city of North Little Rock. I grew up the street in a place called Shorter Garden. Then we moved to Lee. I attended North Little Rock Public Schools, and while attending school, I did have an opportunity to play a little basketball. My skills on the basketball court afforded me the opportunity to go to Rice University in Houston, Texas. While at Rice, I worked hard and I received a degree in political science. Then I made a major decision in my life. I decided to return home to give something back to this community that had given me so much. I think I made the right decision. Secondly, my experience. I have served at the highest level of government in this state. I have worked with 4 governors, 3 Democrats, 1 Republican, and I've spent the last 14 years not reporting to a boss, but representing tens of thousands of people in the Arkansas legislature, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. I've accomplished a record that I am very proud of. Over the years, I have sponsored or co-sponsored over 50 different laws that are on the books at the state capitol. I'm very proud of some of those laws. I'm very proud of the fact that I was the House sponsor of a bill that decreased our taxes on groceries. I'm also proud of the fact that your representative from right here in North Little Rock was the lead sponsor to make sure that you could go into restaurants and workplaces and not be subjected to secondhand smoke. I was also proud of the fact I was the lead sponsor to put automatic external defibrillators that save children's lives in schools all across the state of Arkansas. So I have the experience to do the job. Those are important elements, but that's not why you're really here today. I also have a vision for this city and its future. And I am sure about the fact that I want to make public safety number 1. When a person decides to live in your city, a mayor's first responsibility should be to make sure that they're safe. I want to start by treating our firefighters and police officers and city workers with the dignity and respect that they so deserve. That's why I am proud to tell you today that I overwhelmingly received the endorsement of our North Little Rock firefighters. I want to foster a new relationship between the city and our school district. And one of the first things I want to do as mayor is to settle this lawsuit between those 2 entities. No city can reach its full potential when the city is suing its own school district. I want to have an economic development plan that will create jobs, but also support those businesses that have already decided to be here in our wonderful city. And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that all business dealings and transactions will be done above board and completely transparent. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to address you here in the room today and also the folks at home. The two lead-off speakers brought up a anomaly or a subject that I was going to further elaborate on is this city is like a corporation, a company, and we're applying for the job of the CEO. One thing that I'd like to say that as far as this company is concerned, I've been working for it for 18 years myself. I've served on the board of directors, that's called the city council, for 4 years. I've been on the planning commission. I've served 10 years or so on the board of adjustments and appeals. I've been serving continuously since 1994 in the city of North Little Rock. And you, the voters, the stockholders of this company, the people that pay our wages, the people that we work with, and every one of you as a one share stockholder has one vote. So you're all equally important to me, every last one of you. And that's what I want to do. I want to go to work for you, the people of North Little Rock. I have a business experience background that I graduated from the University of Arkansas. Let me just run through it real quick. I graduated from the University of Arkansas after completing my education in North Rock Public Schools in 1964. Graduated in 1961, went to work for Kmart Corporation as a store manager in a Texas store. I met Sam Walton opening a new Walmart store in the area. I made a good impression on him that day because he offered me a job on the spot and then proceeded to introduce me to his brother Bud. That must have made a big impression on him because of what I was able to do at the age of 30 some odd. And here I am today with all that experience behind me in management. I've worked for the Democrat Gazette newspaper in management for the last, 24, 25 years. So I understand management. I understand how to run this corporation. I've got experience. I've got experience in the business sector, and I've got experience in the city. And with those two qualities, I'm asking for you, the voters, the stockholders, the people that put us in these positions, to give me the opportunity to serve you again. Service is my one and only concern. The issues will come and go. Your issues are my issues, your concerns are mine, your priorities are mine. I'm here to work for you, and I want to thank you for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Mr. Mark Quinn.
Good afternoon. Each of us have experience. What kind of experience should you look for in your next mayor? Integrity. Doing right when no one's looking, and when no one can see what's happening. Independence. Committing yourself to not meeting with representatives of self-interest rather than public interest, who are looking only to get paid. Making sure that conflicts of interest do not exist on boards. Conflicts between self and public interest must be decided in the public's interest. Transparency. As a clean window is transparent, enabling us to look in from the outside to see the activities in this room. It's necessary for every board's activities, particularly their financial ones, to be transparent. The experience that I bring includes cutting my own salary by 2/3, when my firm's revenue would not support it. Moving from a downtown Little Rock office to my own basement home office to save fixed expenses. I have the experience to cut expenses on an absolute basis, reallocate priorities, and reorganize not at the margins, but at the core. North Little Rock's appointed officials should not do business privately using the facilities under their control as board members. Public risk, private profit should not be encouraged by this or any other city. Taxpayers should not be asked to fund projects where members of the boards have the potential to profit privately through the use of these assets. City assets that all taxpayers have paid for should not be at the disposal of a select few. Board audits are done, but as we can see by this morning's paper in which 2 officials have stolen large amounts of money, it's not enough. The information doesn't include bank statements, reconciliations, cash journals, ledgers, inventory accounts, and as a result, the audit is simply a restatement of the information provided to the auditor by the board treasurer. In private business, bookkeepers, accountants take mandatory weeks of vacation to allow their auditors full run of their financial records. Business owners who are board members should disclose their partners, their investors, their employees. Background checks and Dun & Bradstreet reports should be done. Boards that depend on city money should be part of the city. I will lead in this effort putting my personal expenses online. Board meeting video should be permanently available and archived. Board composition should not allow spouses, sons, daughters, employees, or other relations to serve together. This is a practice. Do we need this kind of experience? If a board member has a complementary business to one governed by the board, they shouldn't be on the board. Boards don't do business with board member companies. The public, taxpayers, should not take the risk and individuals be allowed to reap private profits. I have had all the risk in my business. I did not ask any of you to come on board with my business. We do not need any more of this type of experience.
Our first question will go to Representative Tracy Steele. To remind you, Mr. Steele will have 2 minutes to respond, and then Mr. John Parker and so forth will come back, and Mr. Joe Smith will conclude us. The first question that has been selected: if elected mayor, what would be your economic development plan to make sure jobs and businesses stay within the city?
That's a great question. Economic development is going to be a critical issue for North Little Rock. I have been a part of what we have done in this downtown area, and we need to build on it. But we need to build on economic development throughout the city of North Little Rock. I believe in incentive programs. I was one of the co-sponsors of what's called the Governor's Quick Action Close Fund that's been responsible for recruiting industry into Arkansas like California. We can continue that progress. I have been involved in that before. I've been in meetings with the governors and CEOs from not only throughout the country, but internationally. There is an interest for people not only to come to the South, but to come to medium-sized cities, metropolitan areas, and they would be absolutely interested in coming to North Little Rock. And I feel certain that I can provide the type of leadership to offer them the kind of incentive package where they can come in and conduct business here in North Little Rock and create the most needed and critical job that we need. So, yes.
One of our candidates for mayor is pretty much in charge of economic development, along with Todd Larson, and I think they're doing a great job. They have done a great job in the past, and we continue to do so. If we can find someone, should he be elected mayor, to replace him that does a equally as good job. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of the people that work for the city of North Little Rock, whether they're firefighters, police officers, sanitation workers, or the lot, they're all good people, and they work hard, and they deserve our respect. We're going to do everything we can to keep them on board. At least if I were the administrator, until they prove otherwise. We've done a good job so far, and we need to continue to do a good job and refine those things that need improving. Certainly, we can always find room for improvement. We've done an excellent job over the past 24 years, and I think we've had one heck of a mayor, and that's just my personal opinion. You don't have to believe that if you don't want to, but I think he's done a great job. We've seen a lot of progress. And I was on the city council when we built the Dickey Stevens Park and expanded the senior center. So there's been a lot of economic development going on during my term as operating as your board of directors of this company we have called on. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm thankful for Caterpillar. I'm thankful for the large companies we have. Most economic development takes place at the 1, 2, and 3-person level. We need to equip those people who have a skill, who have a technique of doing something that is marketable, that can be sold, combined with business training, business incubation, to allow them to triple their staff in short order. We're going to have some school buildings that are come open. We may or may not be able to use them for vocational training. College is getting expensive. A lot of people can't go to college. Those people still need good, high-paying jobs. There are a lot of jobs that are going unfilled. As the unemployment rate has stayed high, so has the help wanted ads. It's stayed high. Almost 5 million nationwide. We need to equip these people, one, to be able to operate their own business, to remove the fear that they might have, to let them know that you are smart enough to build your own business. You can do it. To give them the tools to do it, and for the city maybe to put a floor underneath them with a little bit of city work. Those people will hire, they'll grow, they'll branch out, they'll be paying taxes. So that the 1, 2, and 3-person company is where the foundation of economic growth has got to be.
John, I think that your answer was a compliment towards me, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Economic development is about one thing, and it's about partnerships. The city can't do it by themselves. We have to create partnerships, and we found that out. It took us a little while, but we found it out that when we go in and sit down with a company, or we're trying to retain a company, we have to do it together. We have to create partnership not only with the chamber, we have to have a partnership with Pulaski Tech, with our school district. All those entities sit on the Economic Development Commission along with me and Terry. So partnerships is what it's all about. The ability to sit down with everybody at the table, including our own staff, so we can answer all the questions, and then to work with the Arkansas Economic Development Commission and the governor's office to make these things happen with partnerships.
Second question will begin with Mr. John Parker. If elected mayor, what would be your stance on continuing to fund the Maritime Museum?
If I were elected mayor, the Maritime Museum would be funded, hopefully with private funds, donations, but for as long as it's necessary, we've certainly allowed our city council and mayor to buy into the museum, and it's here to stay, folks. It's a tribute to our servicemen, and even though I personally think it's a little strange seeing a submarine in the river in a tugboat, I think it would be more appropriate if you saw it in Pearl Harbor where they once were and served. But be that as it may, it's here now and it's here to stay, and I would ensure that it would be continually funded.
train, the tugboat, the trolley, the hoga. There are a lot of people that need essential services, need a fire station out past Rose City. City employees' salaries are being paid. Until those essential city services are provided, until other essential city services are provided as well, that kind of stuff is unnecessary. It was unnecessary then. It's unnecessary now. It would not get a renewed commitment from me of any kind. Now, given that, we have sunk costs that are in that Maritime Museum. So we would have to address the costs going forward. To minimize those, look at the alternatives for what could be done, and then to move on the most efficient alternative going forward.
The city council, a number of years ago, decided that we wanted a maritime museum. I'm going to honor that, absolutely. That is a living memorial down there to all of our military, past, present, future military. You know, if you've ever been down there, you probably wouldn't be against it. It is a wonderful museum. Museums don't make money. Memorials don't make money. I want it to be there. Go down there one night when there's 25 Boy Scouts spend the night on it, and you're going to say, that's worth every penny we spend on it. Plus, you guys, we're thinking about economic development. You know, our goal every time we do something is try to get somebody to stay one more night in North Little Rock or even in Central Arkansas. That has a huge economic impact. One more night, ball field. One more night, the arena. One more night. Then all of a sudden that starts adding up to real money. So the economic impact is 10 times what the museum costs us.
Leadership in governing is all about priorities. It's not whether you're for or against it, it's what your priorities are. Now, when we can repair all of our streets, when we can build that fire station out on the East Corridor, then we can deal with some of those things that we want. But first of all, it's our responsibility to take care of those things that we need. There are a lot of communities where people are hurting. And I've been to the submarine, I've seen it. It's a nice memorial. But it doesn't take an investment of city needs to show that we're patriotic and that we appreciate those who served our country faithfully and served our country well. You know, the tugboat is coming, but you know, I have people in my district, in Dixie and Dark Hollow, they need a rowboat. The reason they need a rowboat is because every time it rains, it pours. And they can barely get out of their communities when we have any type of long-term precipitation. Those are critical needs and critical issues that people who pay their taxes and are members of this community, that they need so desperately. That's why I want to be a mayor for all neighborhoods, for this entire city, just not for certain areas. Thank you.
This third question will begin with Mr. Mark Clinton. If elected mayor, recently the city has created a task force to address the selling of public lands for private development. How would you address this if elected as mayor?
Read my mind. Okay. Public task force and public property. We have some land down here that the city cobbled together, is now acting as a real estate investor, developer, is trying to sell off. That's not what a city is supposed to be doing. The city builds fire stations. The city provides fire service. The city addresses street needs. It addresses road needs. Now, one good thing that should come out of this task force is a list of city property. What I would do, we would take that list of city property, separate it from the parks that are parks, and then try to dispose of that list of property. And then the city would get out of the real estate business. And we would let real estate people do real estate business. It's a novel concept, but it's one that might work here, okay? And then, if the real estate people know that the city is not going to be meddling in their business, they would be more apt to buy a property, do development, and do the things that real estate people do every day. So that would be my solution to that.
You know, every progressive city lays its foundation on public and private partnerships, so I will disagree with Mr. Clinton. I look forward to this task force getting back to the city council and identifying what they believe should be developed and what should not be developed. Remember what my job is. My job is to make things happen. And when I go to work every morning, we have it on our desk. We're going to do something today to be a progressive city. I don't go down there and hold on to the reins. And I'm afraid some of my opponents want to sit down there and just see the phone rings. When I go to work as your mayor, I'm going to go to work as your mayor, and I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to make things progressive. And I'm going to continue the vision that we've had for the last 20 years. And it's y'all's vision. It's not my vision. It's your vision to make North Little Rock a better place to live.
Well, first of all, if I was mayor of North Little Rock, there would be no need for the task force in the first place. Because I will commit to you today that I would not make any major project decisions that deal with land, and especially, for example, this quarry issue, where a decision was made behind closed doors to sell 43 acres of prime, natural, beautiful property in our city for development without any public input. I would assure you that we will have public input. That's why I advocate doing things like having city council meetings throughout the city and developing a group of community organizations that will come together. And as mayor, I will meet with these organizations quarterly. You would hear about things even before they go to city council, and that's even including the city budget.
I certainly agree with the last speaker's comments about being inclusive and bringing you into the picture. After all, this is your land, your parks, your city, your business, and we're working for you. So we need to include you in the decision-making process. I believe that the mayor and the council and everyone involved realized that it was inappropriate to try to sell the property and develop that land before it was even brought up as a contingency plan. The reaction to the fallout from that is this task force. Task force is the next best thing to correcting the problem that we have faced in the past and may face in the future. Once we have this task force report back to the council, then we can move forward with that commercial properties that we want to keep commercial and deal with the rest of it as parks. And I think that's a good plan. That's where we are at this point. That's where I would continue to go.
This next question will begin with Mr. Joseph. If elected mayor, how will you increase the partnership between the city, the school district, and Pulaski County?
Well, you know, we're going to make some very big decisions in North Little Rock in the next 6 months, probably. We're going to elect a new mayor. We're going to choose a new superintendent, and we just got the new president of Pulaski Tech who's here today. So she is. There you go. See, I haven't had a chance to sit down with her, but I know that when I do, we're going to be able to make great things happen up on the Hill. The school district, I've been involved with the school district since the early 90s, helping develop NLR-TV back in the early days when we were doing it with the old kind of cameras that you carry on your shoulder. And so I have no doubt that the partnership that we can develop in the next 4 years this is our first chance to make North Little Rock School District one of the premier school districts in the country. And we don't want to miss this opportunity. So it's very important we elect the right mayor and that we choose the right superintendent of schools so that we can work together to take this opportunity with all these new buildings and put something inside those buildings giving the teachers the support that they need.
Again, we cannot reach our full potential with the city and the school district until we settle this lawsuit. It's affecting our school districts. People are moving out of our school districts. But we have a wonderful opportunity. We passed a millage. I was supportive and out front and worked hard to see this millage pass. We have an opportunity like we've never had before, but it's going to take a strong partnership to heal some wounds and rekindle a strong relationship. While they're building these wonderful schools, 6 new schools, 5 renovated schools, you're going to need a partner in the mayor's office. While they're doing that, the city should be promoting our educational system, should be promoting North Little Rock as a place to come to raise your children, to make sure that your children receive a quality education. It all goes together. That partnership is critical, and you're going to need someone at the mayor's office to deal with these critically important issues. You're also going to have some legislative issues that's going to affect our school district, especially the school district here in North Little Rock. I anticipate this session there will be legislation that will possibly do away with the Pulaski County School District. I've heard talk there in meetings. We could see a complete change in overall in our school district. If you're going to need someone who knows that legislative process, can bring it back home and make sure that our North Little Rock School District is protected and we can reach our full potential. We have a wonderful opportunity. No city has done what we have done. That was an aggressive millage that we passed. We need to utilize that to our fullest capability to make sure that not only we build schools, but we integrate our communities within our school system. Thank you.
You, the voters, you, the owners of this company, voted to pass a millage increase to fund the reconstruction of the North Rock School District. That was a great event. Anyone that's worked on the school board, I'm sure, is gratified with the progress that we're making. All of a sudden, now we can say North Little Rock is going to be a premier school district. People won't have to move from North Little Rock to Cabot or elsewhere to find good schools. We're going to have some of the best, as Joe said, in the country. And I think that's a great thing, something to be really proud of. As I said in my opening statements, I was educated in North Rock Public Schools, so the old buildings that are still out there are the ones I went to school in. And to have a bunch of brand new schools out there, it's going to be a great plus for the city of North Little Rock. People will want to come to school and put their kids in school here. And I think that's a plus. So I'm looking forward to it.
Mr. Smith and Mr. Steele have had 40 years to fix our schools. What I would do is retool our schools inside and out, appoint a Secretary of Education to work with the business community and the education community to prepare our young people for jobs immediately. We need to shorten the cycle time. I mean, with the natural gas field, for instance, we've had companies that have come and gone. We need to shorten the amount of time that it takes someone to get prepared for a job. And those companies can take them where they need to go, up the ladder at that particular job. We can work with the 1, 2, and 3-person companies that it takes to build a foundation for private sector employment. Unemployment is not going to come down until we make more of a commitment to private sector employment. That's what we need to do. Teach people how to run a business, what it takes. It's not scary to work for yourself. You can do it. Give you that business training combined with the skill they already have, a little bit of education. We will see unemployment come down. That should be the vision for
will be the final question before our closing statements, beginning with Representative Tracy Steele. This question comes from someone who believes that Park Hill's downturn in businesses has been due to the fact that it is a dry section of our city. What is your position on holding a special election for that, and what ideas do you have for reinvigorating Park Hill?
Park Hill, when I grew up, was a thriving economic thoroughfare that connected our city from this downtown area to upper North Little Rock. A lot of those businesses now have gone. Park Hill has a wonderful opportunity to develop and become a thriving part of our economic development structure once again. You know, one of the things that, not too many things that I'm jealous of Little Rock about, but the Heights area and the Kavanaugh area is a wonderful place. Park Hill could be that type of community with the right leadership. That issue should be solely in the hands of the people who live in that community first off. And that's how I would go about making decisions. Not make decisions, present them to City Council, and when you come down to City Hall, the decision is already over. It should be complete community dialogue, town hall meetings to see where people stand, and if they want to put this issue on the ballot, I will be the first to put it on the ballot for a vote. But it should not happen just because one person thinks it's a great idea. There's a lot of work to be done, but I think Park Hill has a tremendous amount of potential, and we could get it back to where it used to be and even better.
Is it okay to say I agree with everything he said? The fact is, I'm old enough to remember back when Park Hill was a thriving area, and before they did a precinct vote to make it dry. I think that's the subject we're talking about. They had a Pizza Hut up there. You could buy beer at the Pizza Hut. You know, goes with the menu. And a lot of restaurants now, in recent years, you know, that's one of their main draws is the ability to sell alcoholic beverages with your meals. They even passed a special rule or regulation so that I think U.S. Pizza, when they moved into that location, that was in a dry precinct, but they had some sort of membership or some kind of special get around the horn deal going on there so that they could have a thriving business again. I remember back when the Park Hill corridor was the place to be. That was the first McDonald's in town, first Kentucky Fried Chicken, and as I said, probably the first Pizza Hut. It was the place to be. That was what, back in the 50s, 60s. It changed dramatically, but as Mr. Steele said, it's up to the people that live in that community. People that live on Park Hill, it's up to you to take the initiative to either keep the status quo or make the changes necessary to bring business back into the mix. I'm sure they have alcoholic beverages in the Heights. I don't know why they wouldn't. Have an isolated situation like that in North Little Rock is out of the norm, in my opinion.
Okay. People in Park Hill want to drink some more. Another restaurant. I don't think that has much to do with the economic, bringing back Park Hill. What does have to do with it is our sales tax is too high. Mr. Smith has proposed another half to 1 cent sales tax. They'll take our restaurant tax up to 12%. Manhattan's is only 14 3/4. Okay. The other thing is we have a policy in the electric department of ever escalating electric rates, tying our electric rates to our long-term debt. And when was the last time that we actually paid off some long-term debt at the electric department? Given the choice, we chose to roll that back in to another bond. So high electric rates, high sales taxes, I think that whether or not they have the right to drink in Park Hill is irrelevant. Now, if you may want to get a mixed drink there, and that would be relevant to you, but in terms of their economic development, where they are economically, it has nothing to do with it.
You know, a number of years ago, we worked with the Park Hill merchants and helped them form the Park Hill Merchants Association. And we were rookies at that point in time, and they were too. And we couldn't quite get it off the ground. We did some good things up there on Park Hill, and then lack of interest and probably lack of leadership, not of us not knowing what to do, it kind of went stale. I think now that the pattern that we have used downtown has worked, I think we can take this same pattern and take it to Park Hill. I know that I've talked to some of the business owners, some of the developers, some of the landowners up there, and they are ready to try to take this same pattern and duplicate it in Park Hill. If we can do that and figure out the way to get the election done, then absolutely I support any model that we might put up there and make Park Hill work. Park Hill Merchants Association has got to get back involved, and they've got to make this happen, and we'll certainly help them. I know how to do it. We've seen it be successful downtown, and so we can take that same plan, go up there, and help those merchants put Park Hill back on the map, just like the Heights or Cabot Homes.
This time, if Mr. John Parker would come to the lectern, we'll have our concluding statements. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to reiterate things they've said or to rebut someone else.
We use this or the? Oh boy, we've got a lot of things to think about, don't we? The basics is my fundamental goal here. Return to basics as far as the city of North Little Rock is concerned. I think we have basic needs, and we have people out there, the owners of this company, the stockholders, the voters, that have issues that need to be addressed, and we need to set up a system where we can address those issues on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't need to be grandstanding. We don't need to have to come down to city council and speak at the podium in order to get our voices heard. You need to have an open access to city services, and that's our primary function. Not all this economic development, and I mean, that's important too, don't get me wrong. But the main thing that we're here for is to provide basic city services to our citizens, whether it's street repairs or leaf pickup or garbage pickup or street repairs, whatever the issue is. Our basic fundamental purpose in running the city is to provide those things, schools, parks, all of the above. And if you don't know who to go to, I get that a lot working in the city or for the city. Who do I call when I have a problem? We need somebody on the other end of that telephone. We've got a great, capable city clerk that does a great job of getting that information out. But we need a director. Everybody needs to have one in their hands, in their home, in their phone book, so that they know who to call when they need something. They need to have that information easily accessible. We need someone on the other end of that telephone line that's going to react to that problem and take care of it. It doesn't require city council every time you have a problem. We've got a lot of capable city employees that are doing their job, and they can take care of 99% of the problems. Just give them a chance, call the right people, and we'll get it done. Basic fundamental issues is what the majority of the people are interested in, taking care of the day-to-day routine. And all this other stuff we'll take care of in a business-like manner, and I think you'll all be better for it. Hopefully the next mayor will see it that way, and I thank you for your time.
I want to thank the young professionals for the opportunity to visit with you today. This election is about the priorities that you're going to choose. It's going to be more of the past. It's going to be different. Are we going to reallocate priorities? Are we going to do those things that really come first, that are essential, that should be done before other things? Or we're just going to continue to appoint our friends and make sure they get paid? We need the fire station out past Rose City. We need more police. If there's a big wreck some night, police are drawn from other areas. And there's a hole. And the criminals have scanners. 7 seconds on your iPhone. You can tell where the accident was. You can go to that area if you want to. So we need 25% more patrol. We need to return private property rights. We need to make sure the individual property rights are not trampled on. We need to make sure that we don't have to have a flash mob at City Hall in order to keep someone from putting condos and apartments in a park. Our government is supposed to be a limited government. Limits means that there are limits. Okay? There's a front and there's a back. It's not just wherever you want to jump off. Okay? That's what our government is about. Our economy is supposed to be centered on private enterprise. Not private enterprise in some ad hoc partnership, but private enterprise. Okay? There's too much temptation for any person to profit given inside information. There is simply too much potential. Okay? We need transparency so you can see everything that's going on in every meeting, what their perspective is, so you know why they're making the decisions that they are. It's not too much to ask. It's really not. I hope I'm Mark Clinton. I'm asking for your support starting October 23rd. Thank you.
You know, I've heard most of the other candidates talk about priorities as if the priorities that we've had in the past 20 years were all wrong. I disagree. I think that our priorities have been great. I think we've done a lot of great things in the last 20 years. And so I disagree. I could rebut a lot of what has been said. Some of the facts that you've heard from my opponents are not correct. But I don't want to go into that individually. Let me ask you to do this. This is a very, very serious election for North Little Rock. It's a very serious election. And so I want you to value your vote. And the way you value your vote is to do your homework and to know about each candidate. Talk with people that I've worked with over the last 25 years. Talk and find out about my opponents, and find, so that you, when you go in and pull that lever on the ballot, that you are making an educated decision. So I encourage you to pay attention to your vote. My experience is overwhelming compared to my opponents, and I'm going to take that experience, and you're going to be able to sleep at night knowing that you can trust Joe Smith to do the right things in the mayor's office. You can trust Joe Smith to do the right things. I appreciate your vote. Thanks so much for being here. And, well, they say, God bless America and North Little Rock.
Rock we've done some great things together, but we're not the same city we were a quarter of a century ago. There's been a lot of talk about CEO or manager, and I'm very confident in my management skills. I run a nonprofit organization, I run businesses successfully. But what North Little Rock needs is just not a manager. North Little Rock needs a leader. You can hire a great manager, but you choose or elect your leader. The first thing we need to do in North Little Rock is to get back to basics and open our government up. Oh, it's great to say, as Joe said, well, just trust him. No, we need to show you. We need to make you a part of the process, and we have gotten away from that in North Little Rock. If it wasn't a quarry deal, it's making a decision before they would bring it to the people. It was either open fire, open season on our geese in Burns Park. I can't tell you how difficult it was to explain to my daughter that we might be shooting geese in Funland. It's time to move forward in North Little Rock. I appreciate all the work that everyone has done in this city and this community, but there's nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen, with moving forward. No more backroom deals, no more jaw-dropping revelations and surprises in this city. You deserve to know what's going on before it happens, and not just after it happens and reading about it in the paper. We can do much better in North Little Rock. We can move forward together. We can keep our taxes down low. We can improve our educational system. We can bring jobs to this community. I want your vote on November 6th to be the next mayor of this city. Thank you, and God bless you.
Before we conclude, I want to thank you for being here on behalf of the North Little Rock next generation of young professionals. I also want to thank each and every candidate, no matter our position, no matter the position that we've heard. We thank you for your commitment to this city and its future. Also, personally, want to thank you for your respect for one another and for the guidelines that we sent out. Today you know more about who you're going to choose on November 6th than you did. You're more informed. That was our mission. I hope it was fulfilled.